Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jarvis S. Scott with What's Happening in Birmingham. Today we're back again with attorney Ronnie Rice of the Ronnie Rice Law Firm. We're here to talk business today.
Let's go.
Want to bring attorney back on, talk this very interesting topic. I'm going to lay out the scenario, attorney Rice.
Go ahead.
Me and my friends out one night, we're sitting at a bar, and we're just thinking of some ideas.
Right.
And said, we're going to form a business.
Okay, let's go.
What do we do next?
Hey, the first thing I tell people, if you want to think about doing a business, always, and this is not even legal, do a market analysis.
Okay.
Figure out what it is that you want to do, man. Are you serious about this? Because once you come to me, I'm ready to go. So I'm ready to form the LLC, EINs, if you're doing a nonprofit 501c3, whether it's a partnership, whatever it is. So I always tell people, do a market analysis. It doesn't have to be anything extensive, but you guys need to know exactly what you want to do. So when you come to me and I ask these pointy questions, is it going to be a partnership? It's going to be a limited liability partnership where you got a general where he or she is putting up the money and the other one is putting up the legwork. So when I start asking questions, I don't want you to kind of rest on your heels and say, okay, all right, I don't know because he asked too many questions. But if you did your market analysis or a business plan, when you come to me, I can kind of tell you exactly what you need to be, what your formation docs need to be, and tell you how you need to do it, when to do it, and kind of the tax liability of each one of those forms. So,
what should be in those operating agreements?
What I tell people essentially, it's about the money. Everybody says it's not about the money. It's about the money. You want to know how much money folks are putting up, or how much sweat equity folks are putting up, and how much you're going to be paying out to your partners or the owners of the business, and how often you're going to do it, and how much was the percentages. I can tell you right now, that's typically where a lot of the business formation comes in at. A lot of people just don't think about, okay, is John going to put up $100,000 to start a cleaning business? But if Susie is going to do all the work, well, both parties need to be representative of within that doc, okay? So essentially, if John is putting up $100,000, is he going to get 50% of the profits or 100% of the profits? But if Susie's doing all the work, should she get 50% or should she get majority of the profits? Those kind of discussion needs to be had before coming to me.
All right, and then, now that you're talking about that, but let's get back to the idea. The idea.
Right.
How should a person protect that idea? Because, in this world, there's probably many people that thought about Facebook, many people that thought about Instagram, and then something comes out and they say, oh, this is my idea.
Right. Best way to do it is trademark, patent, copyright, whatever it is, okay? I always tell people it costs money to do all those things, which, my fee is pretty flat, but the cost of doing that is way cheaper than looking 2 years down the line and saying, oh, I didn't do it because I didn't know how to do it. Well, I always tell people before you even get to me, what you can do is go ahead and start doing it. Start creating an online presence. Or if it's something that is a book or something like that, mail it to yourself. Just never open it. It's called the mailbox patent rule.
Oh, wow.
Now, you might have some issues with the hold up in court as extensive to as a company who comes in and actually files a patent or a trademark. But if you don't, you kind of shake it with your finances or you shake it with the idea, at least put some firm foundation down. And basically like a business plan or some drawings or whatever it had, whether it's a design or whether it's music, go ahead and put it on the hard drive, stuff like that, and mail it to yourself. Make sure it's sealed, never open it. So if that time ever comes, then you kind of have something to rest up on. But more importantly, I always tell people, but I know it costs money to patent. I know it costs money to trademark and copyright and all this stuff. But here's the thing. All it takes is an idea to make $1 million, okay? One of the largest companies, car companies, that makes billions of dollars a year don't own any cars, Uber. One of the largest grocery store companies never bought groceries. I'm talking about Shipped. So you got ideas that can literally make you millions. Why not spend that little money on the upfront to say, okay, I'm gonna take this idea. No matter if it takes me 3 months, 6 months, a year to come back to actually flesh that idea out or that business idea out. Let me at least do it on the upfront, the front side, so then it would take me on the back side.
What about if somebody say, well, I'm just going back to the ideas at the bar that night. Well, one of us say, I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm going to go buy that domain name. Does that person, not try to get said, does that person state the first step of the ownership claim? Or if one buys the domain name and I want to say, I'm going to go get the business license. Right. Or I'm going to get the EIN.
Right.
Who is the...
So what I tell people all the time, if this matter had to go to court, what the courts look at is the totality of the situation. Okay, so you just threw out 3 scenarios: the domain name, you looked at business license, and you looked at the EIN. What out of 3 of them? Yeah, they all made significant contributions, but who actually flushed the idea out in all 3 of those instances? So the basic principle the court will look at is who's making the money out of it. Like, did you just go buy a domain name and sit on for 3 years? Did you go get a business license and never brought in profit, never opened up a business account? Did you go register the name with the Secretary of State and that's all you did? You just registered the name, that was it? It's who actually made significant steps to make sure that a profit was made. So the person who probably went and registered the business name, opened up a bank account, and started doing some light marketing, whether they brought no money into the business, probably is going to be one he has a stake to the claim. So it just depends on the totality of the situation.
All right, now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Another thing, like, to hire an individual like yourself. Contracts. And I'm going to say this 3 times. Contracts.
Oh my
Employee contracts. Contracts with vendors. Contracts with suppliers. Can you kind of talk about that for a moment?
So I talked about contracts a couple weeks ago on one of my YouTube videos. And I tell people, contracts is what this world revolves around, okay? Whether it's a non-compete, whether it's a non-disclosure, whether it's an employment contract, what have you. I always tell people courts would typically honor a contract if it's reasonable. A contract doesn't always have to be written. A lot of people don't know that. All it takes is somebody relying on a promise, okay? It's called a reliance rule. So let's say unilateral. If you say, okay, hey, Ronnie, I'm going to film you for this, but we'll be filming this is already underlying expectance that you're going to get some money off of it. So even if you don't have a contract, the fact that you did the work already starts a contract by you actually doing the work. It basically, this is a contract because you performed on it. Based on your performance, automatically creates a contract. And that's why I tell people, I know I'm getting kind of deep, so excuse me if it seems I'm kind of losing people. So I always tell people, in regards to when you're talking to people, whether you've been drinking or you've indulged in other substances that might be legal in your state, make sure that you're not offering promises that if somebody goes and do it, it automatically pulls into your contract. Because this thing called unjust enrichment, it's a story in law school where a lady sits on a porch and somebody come cuts the grass. And she just kind of sits there and says, oh, okay, cool, he's cutting my grass. But the guy, after he gets done, slaps her with a bill. She says, like, no, you don't, I didn't tell you to do it. But here's the thing. She said, one, she was on notice. She saw him cutting the grass and then didn't stop him. And the fact that she basically enriched on him cutting her grass, she was the dude to pay him. Now, once again, the cost has to be reasonable as well. So whatever he charged him had to be reasonable. So I always tell people, there's so many different forms of contracts. Contracts is really meant to not only protect you, but keep everybody on the same playing field. Because everybody does not necessarily understand what it is that we're trying to do here. Yeah, we can have conversation going forth. I mean, basic rules of law is a contract is offer, acceptance, mutuality. Offer is saying, hey, I'll do this, you get this if you do this. Acceptance is whether you say, yes, I'm going to do it, sign on the dotted line, or actually do whatever it is. And mutuality is like, there's some discussion among this, We're trying to bargain, okay, what's going on? Okay, are you going to do this package or not this package? Or do you want my legal service or do you not want my legal service? This is what I can do. Do you want to do it? Do you sign on the dotted line? So these are the type of things that I try to tell people in regards to contracts. It's just so much into it. Here's the thing. If you're doing business, I don't care if it's small, mid-size, high, very high, Fortune 100 company business, You want a lawyer to look at your contracts, okay? That's what you want. I'm sorry. I know you might not like lawyers. You might think it's kind of convoluted. You think we just kind of just charge you for whatever. But here's the thing. What you don't want to happen is get caught without a contract. Because then guess what? You kind of have to leave it up to the courts and the jury to determine if there was, in fact, a contract, and then how much you owed or how much money you should get paid. And that's what you don't want.
All right. And if they want to hire you as their attorney for this, how to get in contact with you?
205-222-9815. Or shoot me a DM, Get Rice Now, GETRICENOW. Or log in on my website, RonnieORice.com. All those work. 205-222-9815. Or DM me on any of my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Get Rice Now, GETRICENOW.
All right, well, Attorney Rice, thank you again. Y'all, he went through 2 segments just like, woo, like a sprint.
Hey, let's go,
so
man.
So he'll bring you back again in the future, man. Thanks again. Business owners, please take heed, especially to that last part about contracts, because it's very important and it can potentially cost you. Thank you all for watching this video today. Please check out what'shappenedbirmingham.com for more videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank y'all again and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.